You're home.
So squeezing.
You look you've had about 2 hours sleep in the last 78 years.
Hi, you guys. A lot of familiar faces here.
Knew I was 25 years old, he'd be shocked. Chloe and I went to high school together.
We did.
This is what happens when you run a show.
I was a year before him. Wow.
Although the Asian, it helps.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to go to common theme that started the Civil War connection, this show, the themes you're dealing with this season, and with Civil War coming, the show is every year tied into somehow.
Somehow.
So I'm not asking for spoilers per se, but thematically in the approach of the show as Civil War is coming in. Jeff just gave us some.
I think hopefully you're already feeling it.
Yeah, I feel like I've been saying this all morning. We've been kind of dealing with the themes of Civil War throughout our season for a while now, in some ways.
Right, I would say even last year with when Daisy was the first to change, there was a big split between how people thought about a person with powers and people not having powers. And then as that's grown, we complicated with there are people who have powers who are also like, I'm not sure I want to have powers or not. Versus people like, this is my God-given right. Of course I have it. And so we plan that internally, but then bring the Talbot, bring the ATCU as we've been in this season. Hopefully you are feeling that split kind of growing as we go forward.
Basically, we've been having a Civil War for a while now.
So they're late to the game.
Yes, they are late.
We just can't destroy buildings and punch people through walls as often as they do.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, hopefully it all feels we're having the same kind of conversations because thematically it's a real relevant thing to talk about in general. Whether it's I'm not saying there's metaphors at stake, but there might be metaphors at stake.
Chloe, now that you're kind of in charge of the Secret Warriors or the Inhumans part of the SHIELD team, how do you think that authority will conflict with your relationship with Lincoln?
Pardon me.
Excuse us. I really don't think it's been an issue, specifically the authority. I think Lincoln's enough of a feminist to not get in the way of it. I think they balance each other out really well. I really like them as a couple. But I don't think my authority specifically has been an issue that has caused tension. There's been other things that have caused tension, and there will be some serious things that cause tension in the future. But it's none of it is me being in charge.
Yeah, you being in charge doesn't really affect it, but working together, there's obviously complications and so on. Just on that level, obviously, but not so much on being the boss.
Yeah, he probably likes it.
Next question.
Jeff, can you talk about engineering sort of the exits of Bobby and Hunter without making it like a backdoor pilot necessarily, and getting that great emotional capper?
Well, I think actually their exit has a lot to do with actually the rise of powered people. I think you felt their frustration, Hunter's in particular, at this isn't fair. We work so hard, we've trained so hard, and suddenly she can do that and it hurts. Or he goes, and I know that emotionally that was an aspect of that growing frustration. And so you felt the doubt, I would hope, over a handful of episodes. So when last week's episode aired, it brought all that stuff to sort of completion with maybe this is the universe telling us to step back from that. So without making it a giant thing, we did try and lay in those little breadcrumbs to lead to it.
Have there been any moments in real life when you thought your character's superpowers would be like really helpful right now?
All the time. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. There was a time I was in traffic.
And you went into fantasy land?
No, I'm not even kidding. There was someone in traffic and they were being such a dick, and I was like, I just sat there and I was like, just to like maybe see if something would happen, and then I put my hand on like, wow, you're spending way too much time at work. Like that is really embarrassing.
I wish a fan had walked past at that time.
Saw me
You go.
they would have shit their pants. They saw me in a car just like,
No, but to that I want to just mention, one of the things that I really love is when they do this on camera and wind blows and things happen, it feels really natural. But what you don't see off camera is like
No, that didn't work.
Well, the problem is always the problem is always the fan is actually the hardest because we have a fan guy. Because whenever I use my powers, I have to have a fan. You
You
know?
have a fan, I have a special light.
Yeah.
So it's
you-
always a timing thing.
You have a light guy and I have a fan
Interactive
guy.
light, interactive wind.
And so we have to really like work together with our light fan people.
Yeah. They're like, so what are you going to do specifically?
So it's like, okay, I'll say this line, and then it'll probably be an assessment beat, and then it'll be like, I'll take him out. And then this, and so they always, sometimes it'll be like, I'll take him. And then the fan comes in, it's like, I'll take him. And I'm like, no, my hand's not up yet. And I go, okay, I'll take them out. And then it comes, I'm like, no, my hand didn't go up yet. So it becomes so technical, it's a joke. And it, we get used to it, but
It's fun because in the same way that you do a line reading, right? They have to determine. We write the line, and they're going to say, "Okay, this is it. Okay, this is it. Or, okay, this is it."
Yeah.
They're line readings. They're line readings with your.
Yeah. There's emotion. There's certain things you
Yeah.
have to portray, whether it's you're upset that you're doing this to someone, or you're really feeling empowered by doing it. And so there's all of these specific, and then we can't make it too forcey, And sometimes, like, I love Star Wars, so I'm like, they're like, Chloe, you're not.
Which is weird because
Kylo
when she's
Ren.
doing it, there'll be like a grip behind camera kind of going.
Which is, by the way, happens sometimes. Just to people like they get a little too into it behind the scenes.
Do you practice in the mirror, like those moves?
Absolutely.
I have.
You have to.
I have
There's
to.
an aesthetic to it. You
Yeah.
can't.
In the same way a dancer comes out and has to.
It can't just feel right. It's got to
Yeah.
look cool. Because if
Yeah.
it doesn't look cool,
We have our VFX guy, Mark Holpack. He is like the superhero movement connoisseur of sorts.
In
And
his
so
opinion.
really, yeah. But he really, when
No,
he's
he's
not
great, he's
there,
great.
I actually kind of
Yeah.
get stressed. I'm like, where's Holpack? I need a little.
it's good to
'cause he-
bounce ideas off it, but not necessarily go with what he
Yeah.
suggests all the time.
Yeah, he's an incredible VFX, but he's also a hidden superhero because he'll be like, Chloe, he goes more into
He's
like
a
less
big
of his
nerd.
job.
Fantastic.
No, and he'll go down. He'll get to
He'll
that
go-
3 He'll go down to that Trinity stance.
Yeah. And he'd be like, okay, so you know what would be really cool? He always has an iPad, and he's like, holds it, and he's like, you know what would be really cool is if we go like this, and then maybe a head tilt, and then a slow up, and I'm like, I'm sure it's like not his,
You
but
know
it
that
always
he's been
works.
practicing in the mirror at home to give it to you.
But he's wonderful. He's
Yeah.
so incredible, and he does such a good job on the show.
No, but it is fun to watch. And just going back to some, the fights they do. One of the things I love about our show is our actors really enjoy doing as much of that as is safe.
Yeah.
And as we're figuring out the powers, like there's something coming up that Lincoln gets to do a fight in a way with powers that in a way we haven't seen before. That the way daisies have grown over time. I think Luke gets to do a pretty cool. I don't want to say anything more than that, but it was like, oh, that's cool.
I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it. I did it, and the choreography was awesome. I don't know how well I did, but
It's really cool.
Doing it is always like mostly tape acting. I feel like that's what I do.
No,
a
it's a
lot.
leap of faith.
do you guys know what that means? Looking at a piece of tape on the map
Because
box?
usually the eye line has to be very specific
Really
for,
tight
for
to camera.
powers and stunts and stuff. So lots of stuff is you're looking at a piece of tape and you're like I recently had to look at a piece of tape and I was just crying looking at it. I'm like, "Ugh," like talking to a piece of tape. Did you see that yet?
No, but I was there when you broke out of your husk last season
Right.
at 400 frames a second, while there's nothing there, and
Well, basically, yeah. So for the mid-season finale, of season 2, the L'Oreal moment of like breaking Inhuman. Jeff
Just said that if you don't
he
get
wrote
this
that
right, you're
episode.
fired, and so you got tears
Yeah,
immediately.
basically. But he was like, okay, so we're gonna look at BJ, Trip, and he just died, and then we have to look at Raina because she's now a porcupine Inhuman, and then back at BJ, and then you realize you're in a husk, and then you break out of it, and then obviously you're emotional because
we've all been there before.
Yeah, and then they're like, but you only have 15 seconds. This is what he's telling me. He
trying
goes,
to
you
break-
only have 15 seconds to do it. I mean, what did I look like when you said that? Did
well,
I
I think that's actually the thing that took you to tears.
that is straight up the reason I started crying
stress of
in
that.
that scene. I have tears because I got so frustrated with how technical it was, and it worked. But it was all looking at a piece of tape.
No, but so much of what they do is really that, and they're also trusting us that when we say, it'll look cool.
But it ends up looking cool.
When actually they're just kind of going,
Well, you guys do such a good job. I mean, it really is. It's a trust thing.
It is a
you
trust
feel,
thing.
You have the more stupid it feels, the better
there's
it
also,
usually looks.
we have a saying, we say in Colpack we trust, because
Yeah.
at a certain point, you cut it together as best you could, and the VFX is going to be cool or not.
Yeah.
So hopefully it is.
Yeah.
Is it time?
Guys, one more. A short one. Anybody?
Right now, it seems that Daisy and Lincoln have replaced their roles in a way. They've switched their philosophies. You know, she started out being a little bit nervous about this world. You were the veteran, and now you're not so sure if it's all that easy to be an Inhuman, and you really want to. So can you tease us about how that arc, the direction that arc might be heading in, or the complications it has for their relationship, or any kind of.
Things get a little tricky here at the end of the season.
Oh, hey, man. Hey, Jeff, hey, what's up?
There's Jeff. Jeff, you want to do that?
No, what I would,
Get nervous.
what I would say is that Ming-Na Wen, who's she's not in the room,
Luke?
right?
No, actress on her.
Oh, I get that all the time.
No, I'll just say that the thing we try and do, the writers try and do in this show, is we try and make it so that what the actors are doing from year to year, season to season, the arcs of the characters are always growing. And so the fact that they swap, and the fact that there's conflict between them, even though they like each other, is great. And what they're inferring is, I think it's going to get more interesting. I don't know if this fellow has anything to do with that, or this young lady has anything to do with it, but we're trying. Thank you all very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I like being on this side. It's kind of cool.
Your job pays better.
Take a shot for that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Hi, how you doing?
Great.